Hey everybody, what's going on? Rob Cesternino back here, and we've got a good exit interview for you here today on the channel. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to talk to a man who I know everybody is dying to hear from, and so excited to get the chance to talk to Q. I've got a lot of questions for him, so I think that this is going to be a great exit interview. So let's go ahead and bring in the man everybody is dying to hear from. Here's my interview with Q. Hey, what's going on? Rob Cesternino here with the guy that everybody can't stop talking about. He's the inventor of the Q skirt, may have reinvented the way they play Survivor, but last night made
big mistake.
Q.
Rob, let's talk about this moment, man.
Let's talk about it.
Last night, okay, first and foremost, my idol situation is totally different from all the others. Why? Because I'm one vote away. They're like 2, 3, 4 votes away trying to hold idols. But for me, I went into the tribal saying, I would rather go home with the idol in my pocket at 6 than play it and then have to come back and do all this fighting all over again when I had, for one moment, felt like I found peace. I'm not fighting for my life anymore. I got a little peace. But I thought, if I can wait until 5 and play it, I guaranteed myself final 3. Because, and I know a lot of people say, well, no, Q, you actually guarantee yourself final 4. Yeah, there was nobody there that could beat me in fire.
Yeah.
Nobody other than Hunter. He was on the jury already. And maybe Soda, maybe. And she was on the jury already. Everybody else stood no chance at all. So I was gambling. I was betting on myself to say, you know what? If I can make it through this vote, I guarantee myself the final 3 at least. But then also, I'm thinking in the game, Charlie's won 2 immunities. He hasn't pissed anybody off like Q.
Yep.
He's been in the know of every single vote, likable kid. I'm thinking everybody would wise up and say, that's the person to be. Not the guy who's been chaotic and crazy that everybody hates, that they think. So, I was betting with information that I had then, but also, Maria would come and tell me every single vote, every single tribal. So it was never a vote that I did not know what was going on. And her relationship with folks that did not want to have a relationship with me, she did not see that they had flipped on her. And, I don't fault her at all. She came with information that she thought was true, like she done all the other times beforehand. I took that information and I made a decision not to play my idol.
You had such an interesting relationship with Maria. It seemed like that you two really clicked. What was it about Maria that made you have such a strong relationship?
Yeah, it was just, man, being able to be authentic, being able to be human also, even when knowing going with Q puts target on your back, she still came and checked on me. She still came and talked to me. She still brought me to eat pizza where I can eat 23 slices.
23 slices.
She still did all this the same way that I would have done. I brought her on Applebee's. I looked out for her. When Tiff brought her name up, I was ready to vote out at that point my number 1 for somebody because I felt like, okay, this person's going to be authentic and real with me.
Can you tell me, what was the reaction like when you got back to the Ponderosa? Were there any people who were not excited to see you?
I don't think so. If so, I don't remember. But, Rob, you got to remember this right here about you walk into a situation, people are going to treat you the way that you're treating yourself. So if you're treating yourself all down and mad and mopey, they have to tend to drop down to that level. But if you're excited and over the top and smiling and happy, they have to be the same. So when I got off the boat, man, they were singing and laughing and happy to see me and wanting to talk. So, and a lot of people don't know this. A lot of people thought everybody on the jury hated me. But when Tiffany got voted out, she hugged me, stood up, hugged me, and said, go win this damn thing. Left, no one ever even saw that because it didn't show. So I knew Tiff was not that upset with me at that point in time. Everybody else, as far as Tevin and Soda, they had no reason to be upset with me. And then only person left was Venus. Okay, so it was one of those things where, man, I knew going in I was going to be okay. But then also I knew I had a shot to win in the game. And that's why I was playing to get to 3 and not just to get to 5.
Q, this morning, a lot of your castmates had things to say about you going out of the game. Do you have any reaction to your castmates commenting on you going home?
Nah, see, here's why, Rob. Some of my castmates right now are trying to use the Q effect for their effect. And I just ignore it. I don't want to participate in any bickering back and forth because at some point there's levels to this. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to scoop down. I'm not going to come off my high horse to make anybody else feel good and give them any validation or any credit. I don't see them. They're little baby ants. I'm just stepping around them. But see, the problem is that was the same way in the game. They're so fascinated about Q that they lose sight of the big picture. You know, most of them are so happy that Q got out of the game, but they forgot they're at home and they lost as well. Maybe they need to reevaluate the way they played. So if they get another shot, it don't happen again. But instead, they're so happy that now Q is gone.
Okay.
Which, you know, I know a lot of people aren't, but it's okay.
Yeah. Well, I'm not one of them. I thought that you were so much fun to watch and such an interesting player. So many things that, I could talk to you for several hours today. But let me ask you, at the point, maybe the most controversial thing that happened was the moment that you said you were ready to go home at the Hunter vote. And we talked
Yeah.
about it and debated it. And, I made assumptions, but were you genuine? You would have just gone home that night. You wanted people to take you out of the game.
Yeah, so there was never a point in the game where I wanted to quit. There was never a point in the game that I did not want to be there. Let me just make that clear. What happened in the game was something happened at camp, and I explained to you what happened that I felt responsible for. And in my everyday life, if I feel responsible for something, I raise my hand and I say, you know what? I'm responsible for it. I'll take the heat. Just like in football, when I fumbled, in my high school, we have to run sprints for every single point we lose by. When I fumbled, we lost by 6 points. Okay. The next day, everybody on the team has to run 6 gashes up and down. I volunteered to run for every single person. Why? Because I fumbled. In the game, what happened was Liz was so over the top happy about the Tevin vote. 2 things happened. Liz was over the top happy about the Tevin vote. I screwed up when I went and told Hunter about it. Hunter went to Liz. Now Liz, this person that I've seen so happy, and this is before the Applebee's, of course,
Yeah.
she's now crying. And now she's like, I'll just do whatever y'all want to do. I have 4 little sisters. That bothered me. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like you were just so happy. Now you're crying and just being submissive, like that bothers me a whole lot. And I felt responsible for that. I should have never told Hunter. Then I was also thinking, like, man, Tevin is in my lines. I'm supposed to be protecting him. I have done nothing to prepare him and warn him, at least, of what's about to happen. I felt bad for it because I was like, man, I brought him in. I supposed to be at least advocating to do something to protect him. I hadn't done that yet. I did it, but I didn't do it indirectly. I was trying to switch the votes. I was trying to get it on Venus, and then I was trying to get it on Tiff at that point because she was targeting Maria, which in the 6, and it wasn't happening. But at some point at that tribal, everybody was like, okay, let's just do Tiff. But then it was like, well, shoot, I don't want to do Tiff today, right now, with all this stuff going on. But so, long story short, it was one of those things of where, man, I just felt like I screwed up. I didn't do right about Tevin. So, and 17 of those people, Rob, was there for the $1 million.
Yeah.
I was there for the Soul Survivor title. The $1 million wouldn't change my life. But for Tevin, it would change his life. And I started to weigh all that on my walk over to Tribe. And I was like, man, I have to do something to try to make this right. And to make it right, volunteering myself.
Okay. Go back to earlier in the game. Randon gets pulled from the game. You told us that, oh, that was big because Banu was not going home. Kenzie was going home at that vote. Is that accurate?
I think it's accurate from a standpoint of where we were in the game, conversations that was held. Everybody now is full and they looking back on it on what they would have and should have done. I vividly remember that moment, and that's why I was so upset that Kenzie were getting 2 votes. And it was talked about, hey, we were going to work with Banu, we were going to be willing to train them, and we just had to get rid of the smallest person. I thought Kenzie was going home. Now, Tiff can say now, after the game is over, that maybe she wouldn't have done that, but in that moment in the game, I thought that was the case. She had told me that was the case, that she was going to do it. And unless she was lying to me, which she had no reason. But you got to think now, after the game, Tiff gets to watch me blow up her idol. And now she sees that I'm the reason that her game didn't go. So, of course, she's not going to come on here and just say, yes, this will happen. But in my mind, that's what was happening.
Okay. Sticking at Yanu, way back when you and Jelinski did Sweat versus Savvy, Jelinski says it was your idea to give up from the challenge. Is that accurate?
Rob, that is so far from the truth. And I'm so glad. And look, we're going to make sure we get this one out. So what happened is in that Sweat challenge, was we both started, right? We're both going, but Jelinski stopped at least 5 different times. Jelinski went to camp for about 10 minutes to try to find his shoes. I never stopped. I'm going back and forth, back and forth. Then he comes back, he takes a break. The scene where y'all see Jelinski sitting on the ground and he's like, at least I have an ally, we have Superman. It was because like I told Jelinski, okay, you can't go at my pace, I get it. But every single time I go and come back, you have to be ready to go at least one time. He would stop every single time. Then he left and went back to camp again to get his water bottle. Left me out there by myself for another 5 to 10 minutes. So when he did that, and he kept stopping, I just said, I told the camera, I said, when he comes back, I'm going to ask him if he thinks that we can finish it. And if he don't think we can finish it, why am I constantly busting my tail when he just keeps stopping? He's left. So he came back from getting his water. I asked him, I said, man, go look at it. If you feel it in your heart that we can't continue, then there's no need for us to continue to do it because I'm not doing it by myself. Yeah. And I felt like I was doing it by myself. And at that point in time, I made a decision. I was like, okay, if he don't think we can finish it, there's no way we're going to finish it. So let's just go ahead and be done. But I didn't tell him that. I just said, if you don't think we can finish it, then you tell me and we'll make a call. Yeah. He went over there, he looked at it, he said, no, I don't think we can finish it. If he would have said, yeah, Q, I think we can finish it, bro, let's go, I would have never stopped. But when somebody else is already in their mind thinking, oh no, it's not going to happen, then he's okay with constantly taking breaks. He's okay with constantly leaving to go to camp to get a water bottle or some shoes and all this crap. That's what really happened.
Q, tell me, what's something about your game that we didn't see at home that was important to your story?
Yeah, so there was a lot of moments like, I'm not sure if you saw the secret scene or the deleted scene with Liz.
Yes, I did.
When I went to Liz and, apologized and wanted to talk it out, there was a lot of moments like that. Me and Kenzie had one of those moments on the boat. Me and Ben had one of those moments. And me and Tiffany had a more in-depth moment at the Applebee's to where we talked and we I was able to man up and confess and just say some of the things that I did wrong. And so more of that you did not see. You saw the cutthroat, the chaotic, the crazy Q, but you did not see the Q who was also the human who would go to folks and just say, if I rubbed you the wrong way, I apologize. It's not my intention. How can I be better? Make me aware of the things, so those are some of the things, but also just, my heart, man, a lot of folks think, oh, Q tried to quit. Never would have quit. Never. Listen, I am more than capable of getting up, walking out and leaving and not caring what anybody thinks. If I wanted to quit, I would have left. It wasn't that I wanted to quit. It was I felt like I was doing the right thing from an action that I made to just volunteer and say, you know what, I can take the heat. Now, if they vote me and I go home, I'm fine with that because I volunteered, but they didn't. I'm still in the game. I'm still playing. But now I can live for myself because I at least tried to do the right thing.
Okay, Q, last thing from me. I know you are very successful in your business. You are a sensation on Cameo or Qmeo,
Yep.
but there may be an opportunity for you to return to Survivor in the next couple of years. You don't need the money, but you didn't win the title of Sole Survivor. Is it
It's
something that's interesting to you to return?
Rob, if Jeff decides to call Q, I can promise you this right here. It won't be a mistake. It won't be a big mistake. And I'm saying yes, man. Why? Because I am still titleless. I don't have it. And a lot of things would change just from the standpoint of, Rob, I didn't even work out at all. 0 days before coming out here to Survivor. I didn't do one puzzle before coming out here to Survivor. I didn't even prepare the way some of these people did. So just imagine when I actually do and I take it seriously, what can really happen. I had fun out there, dude. But me going back to 50, I mean, it would be a no-brainer for me to say yes, just from the standpoint of I just love it out there, man. That gives me the opportunity to play the game, but also have moments that I don't have in my true life. Like to go from for 17 days, Rob, I was in control. No one did anything in that game unless it came through me for
Okay.
17 days in a row.
Well, Q, if they don't bring you back, forget cancel Christmas. Cancel the show. Okay? How about that?
Yes. So, Jeff, this is your boy Q. You know what you get. You know what I'm going to bring. So I have a message for you. If you don't bring me back for 50, cancel Survivor. Big mistake, buddy.
Well, we got a Qmeo here. Okay. I know you got to run, Q. Thanks for making some time. Hope we can chat more in the future. Okay. All the best.
Man,
all right.
Much love, man. I
All right.
appreciate
Take care. Bye. All right, everybody, you heard the man. Bring him back or cancel Survivor. So much good stuff there from Q. He is just such an interesting person to talk to, just hanging on his every word. I'm sure you were too. Would love to hear what you have to say in the comments in regards to all of Q's answers to my questions. And I hope that we're going to have the opportunity after the season to ask Q some more questions in a longer format here on RHAP. Make sure you don't miss that or any of our other podcasts here. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and let me know what you think in the comments. Have a good one, everybody. Take care. Bye.